Before I like to start my talk, I would like to ask the audience a question. Who here loves your grandparents? Just a show of hands. Pretty much everyone here does, right? And if you don't live with them, you must have noticed that your grandparents always try their hardest to keep in touch with you, especially if they have grandchildren. Now, my grandmother was exactly the same. She was the kindest soul that I'd ever met. And she had this way of turning every ordinary moment into something magical. If there was a simple walk in the park, she would turn that into an opportunity for me to greet my neighbors. A simple cup of tea, she would talk about stories of her time when letters took weeks to arrive and radios had knobs on them. I remember the time when I got my grandmother her brand new smartphone. She was like a toddler who just got a new toy, bustling with excitement. But that all changed when she opened the box. She acted like it was a fragile object, turning it over in her hands multiple times. She then tried clicking on the screen, yet nothing happened. And then she looked at me jokingly and said, "Simrik, can this phone make dishes for me like you do?" We both just laughed. But deep within my heart, I knew that this was a much more serious problem. Now, don't get me wrong. My grandmother isn't just any ordinary woman. She's deeply interested in politics. She's a writer herself, and she reads a newspaper every day. She wasn't resistant to change. She wanted to video call her nieces, listen to her favorite songs again, and learn new recipes online. She just needed someone or something to meet her halfway. Oops, sorry. This is me, my grandmother. I was teaching her how to take a selfie, and this is her taking for the first time ever with my grandfather. And this made me wonder, how many people feel the exact same way, being eager to connect, but locked out by design? When we talk about technology, we often talk about speed, faster chips, smarter AI, and larger screens. But maybe the problem with technology isn't speed. It's about those people we forget, the people that can't keep up with the pace. Take a look at this. 1 in every 4 Canadian seniors does not use the internet daily. Over 70% of them think that they are interested in doing so, but only 35% feel confident. And this isn't just a Canadian thing. In my time living in Malaysia, I've seen seniors try to scan QR codes using their phone, but just struggle to do so. My uncle in India bought a brand new smartphone and tried to pay the electricity bills, and yet he just couldn't. In Dubai, seniors try to order Uber, but because of the complex layout, they can't understand how to use it. In all these countries that I've lived in, I've noticed the same pattern. The desire to connect is there, but technology, it doesn't help them out at all. And the worst part is that we assume that the problem is with them. We tell ourselves, maybe they aren't interested in learning how to use technology. Maybe they're just too old. But that isn't the case. Think about it from your own shoes. Imagine trying to learn a new course where every single week the content keeps changing and there's no guide, there's no mentor, and there's no one to really help you out along the way. And technology isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. For everyday tasks, we need a basic level of digital understanding. But the problem is, we expect them to master it without even teaching them how to. So my question to the audience is, if innovation is supposed to move everyone forward, why does it feel like only some of us are moving ahead, but others are being left behind? This idea, it was in the back of my head, pestering me every day. I try to make projects helping out and even talking to my friends to raise awareness. And it all came together at a hackathon. While other groups were trying to make something new, cool and flashy, I knew I had to make something that was more human, something that a simple person like my grandmother could use. And that's why I built Gestura. Gestura is a gesture-based art game where it has a simple menu where with a few clicks of a buttons, you can play the game. All you have to do is swipe your finger to draw, flick your wrist to change the color of the pen, and with the wave of your hand, you can erase the screen. Gestura has a simple loading screen, just a few easy buttons, no distracting background, and you don't have to sign into Google 10 times. It's meant for everyone to use, not just people like my grandmother. And in larger schemes of things, it made me realize that this project wasn't just people like my grandmother. It was for every single person that struggled to use technology. For every single person that wanted to connect with others, yet couldn't. And it made me reaffirm something that was deep within my heart. That accessibility isn't just a bonus feature, it's a starting point of all innovation. And this isn't just an idea, it had its own practical usages. My neighbor, a 76-year-old man, came to our house for tea. I asked him to just play the game, and he said that in the first time in over 20 years, this was his first ever creation. A simple sunflower that he drew, and yet it brought him absolute happiness. My younger brother also used the app, and he wanted to draw, and just using his fingers, he was able to draw to up to his imagination. And this made me realize, why can't every single app be able to do this? It's not that hard for developers to implement features. We already have something called dark mode, where with the click of a button, the entire layout becomes darker and easier for our eyes to see. So why not create an accessibility feature where with just a click of a button, the buttons in the menu become bigger, the background becomes easier to see, and all the unnecessary features are removed. It isn't very difficult for developers to implement this. We already have multiple modes for different users, but it's the mindset that is lacking. All we need is to make sure that when we have, in the case of accessibility, it isn't a checkbox that we tick off. Instead, it is there from day one while building every single app. So now, the big question is, what can you guys do? It's the small things that in life that make up perfection. So what are those small things that everyone here can do? It's simple. In your daily life, for example, when you're going outside for a walk, in your favorite shopping complex, is there a wheelchair ramp for people who are in wheelchairs? Is there disability-friendly washrooms? If there isn't, raise it to those in charge, because all it takes is the opinions of some of us to make actual impact for those who deserve it. And what is something that you can do on a really personal level? The answer is really simple. Sit with them. All you have to do is just sit with them and explain. Explain how to use technology on a smartphone. Just teach them how to do simple stuff like taking photographs or maybe video calling someone or even sending a message. For us, it may seem really insignificant or something that's really small, but for them, it just means the entire world. Throughout our lives, through every hardship, every obstacle that we have faced, they have held our hands and side by side made us overcome every single one of them. Now, it's our time to return that favor. all it takes from us is one explanation, one click, and one gesture at a time. Thank you.